Hello and good morning. Joe Justice here, coming to you live from Charleston, West Virginia, 950 Canal Boulevard East in the headquarters for Advantage Technology. Of course, we also have offices in Bridgeport, up in Maryland, in Williamsport and Frederick, and all over the place. We reach everybody on the East Coast and going into Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland. We've actually got customers in Canada, believe it or not, and we've had customers going all the way down to Alabama, Florida, and of course Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, every place in between. So it is great to have you here today. Hello and welcome. It is December 7th, 2022, and we are at Hump Day. So today we're getting ready for getting into the weekend. So after today we can relax a little bit. Everybody loves Hump Day, right? It is a dreary day today. It's been raining, and because of that, just found out that the Charleston parade is getting moved. We were going to be in the Charleston parade and are going to be in the Charleston parade, but it was going to be tomorrow. Now it's looking like it's going to be next Thursday. So looking forward to that still. Thank you for joining me here today. Today I want to talk about some regular maintenance that your computer network needs in order to stay operational. Now, there's all kinds of things that can go wrong with your computer network, stuff that you need to kind of keep an eye out on and take care of in advance. Now, if you work with a company like Advantage Technology, we will work with you to create a quarterly manual and automatic maintenance system, so that we can manage your network, make sure that all these types of things are taken care of, be sure that all the updates are installed, everything's running tip-top shape and everything. And of course, the quarterly maintenance also goes hand in hand with network monitoring. So the other day I talked to you a little bit about third-party monitoring. That helps to keep everything running smoothly so that things like the quarterly annual maintenance or the quarterly maintenance can, be used to just make sure that everything's humming along and taken care of. Some of the stuff that you want to make sure that you take care of on a regular basis is making sure that your disks are cleaned up and maintained. Now, this isn't as big of a concern as it used to be. Of course, once upon a time, storage was very expensive, and as you would store data, especially in the older hard drives, the older systems, you had fragmentation and, you had spinning disks, so it was all magnetically based. So the files were fragmented, especially have a lot of large files that would slow things down. So it was really common to use a defragmenter. Now, it's not like that anymore for the most part. If you have modern storage servers or modern storage attached storage on your network, you'll see that you don't really have to run that type of maintenance as much. Now, one of the things that's caused is file structures are a lot more sloppy than they used to be, and people don't maintain their data probably the way that they should. It's one of those things. It's kind of the abundance causes you to kind of get lazy. So you have so much data, so much storage available to you, you don't manage the data as well. But, I really highly encourage you on a regular basis, delete old files, get rid of old things that you don't need anymore, clean up your file structure, make sure everything's running. If you've still got older file storage systems that use magnetic drives, I really highly recommend you update those to solid state drives. You don't have to worry about things like fragmentation, stuff like that. You can do long-term storage on magnetic drives. There's lots of options for that, but as a regular production-based drive, really highly recommend that you use storage that specializes in that's all made up of solid-state drives. So that'll really help with your standard disk maintenance and making sure that your drives are maintained and working properly. You also need to make sure that your antivirus is always up to date. Now, I know I'm talking about kind of a quarterly maintenance type of topic here. And it's important that, in your quarterly maintenance, you check your antiviruses, make sure they're all up to date. But your antivirus should definitely be updated more than once a quarter. So you want to make a regular routine, at least once a week, probably once a day, to check on your antivirus. Make sure that your antiviruses are up to date. It's got all the latest definitions, and everything is available at the top level, because 0-day concerns are always out there. You never know when there's going to be some kind of a new ransomware outbreak or something like that. We haven't been running into as much of those lately because the software, the antivirus softwares that are used are much more AI based, and they've been doing an incredible job. But threats are still out there, so don't get complacent. The other thing that you want to make sure that you do on a regular basis is install all of your software updates. So, software comes out with updates all the time. You probably notice that when you go to shut down your computer, you shut it down, and then what happens? It says, there's updates that need to install, or a little thing will pop up and say, hey, there's some new updates. Do you want to install those now? And you're thinking to yourself, no, I don't want to install those now. I've got stuff to do. I've got work to get done. The last thing I want to do is install these updates. I went to shut down because I want to shut down. Well, if you install your updates on a regular basis, that'll help out. Realistically, you're probably going to do that every week, but it's important to make sure that you have a set schedule for that. A quarterly maintenance is a great time to do that with all of your software, not just your operating system. Make sure that if you have any kind of software from third-party vendors, any kind of vendors whatsoever, make sure that you're updating those and getting them updated regularly. Now, why do we have so many software updates? And same thing, by the way, with switches, firewalls, other network attached devices. Why are there all these updates? Why are these updates constantly coming out? Well, it's because that's just the way that software ships now. Software where everything is live and it's all on the cloud and everything's connected and interconnected nowadays. Every computer's on the network, every device in the world is on networks, and there's constantly security and other software problems that are being identified. So what do we do about that? Well, what the software companies have done is they just ship things, as they are, and then they update them as they go. It's kind of the cost of progress as things are. You could either wait for years for them to get everything exactly right, which, by the way, they're still never going to be exactly right because there's always exploits that are going to be discovered. Or you can go ahead and just take it the way it is and install the updates regularly. Everything's a living, breathing system nowadays. Nothing is as simple as it used to be where you just get a box and you'd pop it in, you install it, you'd run with it. It's not like that anymore. So make sure that you get all those updates installed on a regular basis. Updates all your third-party software, all your vendors, all of your databases, your server software, network attached storage. Everything's alive now. Everything exists. Same thing with a lot of devices that are IoT devices. They have updates that need to be ran. And while we're talking about that, that also brings up hardware updates. There's lots of hardware updates that need to be made, like your drivers, maybe your sound cards, chipsets, all kinds of things. You just need to check for those at least once a quarter. Make sure that you don't need those types of things updated or those types of updates ran. So it's a really good idea to, like I say, set a regular schedule for that. Again, we can work with you on that. If you contact Advantage Technology, we can work with you to set up a regular maintenance. We have a whole team that handles managed services, and that's what they do. They set all that kind of stuff up, and then once a quarter, they'll log in, check all that kind of stuff, go through their checklist, and make sure all that kind of stuff is up and running. You also want to make sure on a regular basis to check your data backup and recovery systems. Now, we've talked about data backup and recovery in the past, and there's a lot of things to unpack there, but at least once a quarter, you're going to want to make sure that the whole chain is still working properly. You need to want to make sure that your on-site backup is backing up everything that it's supposed to be backing up. Make sure there's no fail points there. Make sure that your on-site backup is going out to the cloud and backing up on the off-site location. You want to make sure that there's no fail-safes there. And you want to do some test recoveries to make sure that your recovery stack and everything involved in that is working properly. Along those lines, with the backups and the hardware and everything else, you want to do some edge testing and some system recovery testing. Make sure that all your systems are working properly. If you have monitoring involved, you want to try unplugging switches. Make sure that those alerts are going through. You want to try removing hardware. Make sure that those alerts are going through. You want to try unplugging storage. Make sure those alerts are coming through. Now, again, you want to do this with somebody that knows what they're doing so that you don't damage anything. But you want to work with your IT staff, or you work yourself with somebody that's experienced with this to test all of these scenarios, because the last thing that you want is to have some kind of a maintenance system in place, some kind of a system in place that's supposed to do something, but at the end of the day, it's not actually doing what it's supposed to do. That's the worst case scenario, because then you live in that false sense that everything's safe and everything's secure. When you need it, it's not there. So at least once a quarter, you want to do some edge testing and make sure all that stuff works. So I hope you found this helpful today. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe. Let everybody know about this and learn more. If you need any help with your regular maintenance, make sure you contact us at Advantage Technology, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.